Welcome back, everybody, to the Twin Chickens podcast. It's me, RD5,000,000. We're joined here today by not only Ibino-chan. How you doing? Doing all right?
Excellent. I'm feeling great.
Yeah. We have actually...
we do have a special guest.
Yeah, someone I've never met before, by the way. So, first time meeting them. Say hello to Melina.
Hi.
Woo! How are you?
I'm good.
Awesome. Fantastic. You are from Mexico?
Yes.
¿Habla español?
Yes.
Oh,
Claro.
fantástico.
Fantástico.
Wow. Did you know? ¿Sabías que hablar español?
No comprendo.
Yo no sabía. Freaking.
Hablo español.
Habla español. So we're going to, as much, I'll talk to you more about in Spanish. But for right now, for everyone else to understand us, you're from Mexico. What part of Mexico are you from?
I'm from the north. It's called Torreón, Coahuila.
Ah, my dad is from Durango.
Oh, that's near.
Near, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Do you have like a house settlement or like a, what do you call it, like a camp, or where do you stay? What's your residential life, I guess, down in there?
So my life this past years has been a bit of a mess.
Oh, same. I guess we could all relate to that one as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pandemic and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course.
So I was living in Querétaro, another city. That's a beautiful city.
All right.
And online classes and stuff.
Mm-hmm. But you're going to college right now?
No, not this semester for the online classes because it's too tiring.
That's what he's doing right now. Or at least he was going to until he dropped out of college.
Yay!
That's very exciting. What were you studying?
It's called, the literal translation is government and public transformation.
Okay, that's pretty cool. What kind of classes were you taking, or how far did you get?
So I just did 2 semesters.
Okay.
I'm planning on returning to the school, and the first 3 semesters are the area, so
Right.
it's social sciences,
Okay.
and law, economics.
It sounds like almost like a public servant kind of thingy, or like public,
Yes.
involvement. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Right. I see a lot of that stuff in Mexico. It's usually like people are always helping out everyone. Like there's always a job or like an education for the betterment of people, never for like anything of like a higher economic like boss. How do I say this? Like economic structure. For example, people don't open up Quiznos or something like that. It's usually for some other benefit. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I get that. I feel that we have that 2 parts because. So the thing is that when a country or just when a society is not stable economically, socially, or whatever, naturally it will have defects, and naturally it will have criminals and stuff.
Yeah.
So I know and I see, and it's a very powerful thing in Mexico, what you said of helping each other and just giving help. But also, and I think as a nature of the state we are as a country, it's also natural and very common for people to push you down and
absolutely.
criminals and robberies. I just got I was paying my passport, so my passport was cancelled. And I was
canceled, you mean? Or
expired.
Expired?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Ay caramba. Yeah.
Ay caramba.
Yeah.
and I paid for to a government page, and then I discovered that it wasn't a government page, and someone had just steal 2,000 pesos from me.
Whoa.
Yeah, and that's a very, very common thing. But also,
that's terrible.
Maybe I'm emotional with this, but I believe that it's just a consequence of a bad
system.
Organization. A bad system.
I completely agree. For here in America, well, I guess it happens anywhere actually. A lot of the times where you can literally leave your information online and someone can just take it very easily. I don't know if you've had any chances with that, because you used to do some crazy stuff
I've only had accounts online or video game things where I'd just buy games or whatever, and if I was trading, that's where things could get hairy, where people just get at your information, or if you're not using 2-factor authentication where you connect your phone to the accounts so that you have to hit a text message first before you can access anything. But the worst things that have happened is just I haven't had my accounts for a few a week or something.
Right. And the most that's ever happened to me is like I got hacked on Facebook. Like I clicked on this link and then it sent a message of like this. I don't know what it was. It was just like this virus to like everyone. Whoever opened it sends another message of their entire friends list to everyone.
Yes.
I lost a lot of friends that day.
Yes, that's we also like just this month. There has been so many people that like were hacked on Facebook.
Yeah.
And they sent a message like, oh my god, is this you in this video?
Right.
And like obviously everyone's like, oh my god, is that me? And like they,
right.
You know.
Now, in the part of Mexico that you live, is it more in this? Would you say like a modern kind of place that you live? Because I know Mexico does have its beautiful spots. I've never been. I've been scared to go, honestly.
Yeah.
But where you live, because like I said, I've never been. Is it more on this like a modern take, or is it more so like flat land, grass, or?
It's actually a desert.
Really?
Our,
okay.
Like mode of the.
Like un rancho kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm.
So as like the motto, I think it could be of the like a state is we overcome the desert, because it's literally a desert and they build like a city in the desert. Yeah.
So do you have electrical power and everything in there?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, cool. Because like I know some people.
It's
What's it called? My father-in-law or whatever. No, I'm not married. My mom's husband's father-in-law. They have to run water to the ranch, and electricity. You have to run lines to it, and it's like miles away. It's very far away. So I don't know if you have that same thing.
No, I live in a medium city. Like it's not a big city like metropolitan, like Mexico City, Monterrey, Guadalajara.
Right.
It's a medium one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. But you live comfortable, right?
Yes. Yes, completely. Is yeah.
So
that thing that you just said that you were scared to go, like that's a very common thing.
Right.
But the thing is that as in any place in this world, obviously like there's like more and less.
Right.
There's in each country places that are dangerous and places that are not dangerous at all.
See, I had I told Evan this before as well, where I had a cousin, well not cousin, but someone I grew up with that I was really close to, go get deported from here to go to Mexico, and he stole something, and they found him and they cut his hand off, and it's like, Jesus Christ.
Where?
In Mexico. So I don't know where, but I know it's in Mexico, and I don't know who did it, but it's a law apparently. It's a thing where if you steal, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you steal something from a store and they catch you, they will chop your hand off as a punishment.
Yeah, that's completely.
That's not
true.
So
I mean, I do believe that can happen, but that is completely like out of a corrupted system. Like that's completely illegal. Completely.
So I think, and it is from what I know, he was mixed up with a lot of gangsters here in Minnesota. So when he went down there, oh boy, I think some of that followed him, or I don't know, maybe he's just mixed up always in the wrong crowd. But scary stuff.
Yes, but also like that's the other thing. If you are involved in that, of course you are getting yourself into danger.
Right.
If you are not, just be careful where you are. Like don't be at night in a dangerous place. But like besides that, it's a beautiful country and you will have a great time.
How much have you explored of Mexico?
I've a lot. I mean, not all Mexico. I've been in the south, like in the middle, in the north where I live.
Okay, do you have spots that you go to, or like cities that you love visiting?
Well, the south is more beautiful because it's like it has more history.
Okay.
And it's like older, you can say. So it's more beautiful. It has like a lot of architecture, beautiful architecture, and beautiful food, and a lot of culture.
Okay.
The south. So yeah, if you're going to Mexico, I would recommend the south. So like
very cool.
Zacatecas, Querétaro, where I used to live, that's in the middle.
That's where my mom is from, Zacatecas as well. But they've never like told me anything positive there. I do have some family there, but never been anything from like, oh, come here and here's like this beautiful ocean. I don't see that. Every time I type in like on Google like beautiful places in Mexico, it's always been like a desert, and it's like I know that there's beautiful spots there, but I don't know. I need a tour guide like yourself to like put me in the right direction, or it's just someone that's been around for a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I totally get that.
Yeah.
It will be completely light to say that it's all beautiful, and I completely like to say that it's like all mean and horrible.
I mean, I don't, like I said, I haven't been, but I assume that like every place has that kind of stuff. I know here, even where we live, or where I live right now, you know, you can go to a very terrible spot here for sure, and like just, you know, be in that area. But you don't have to be, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So every place has its own thing, not just Mexico, like everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. And because, you know, there's like this perception of Mexico, like I feel that it's like a very polarized perception of just narcos and gangs and and like beaches and tequila and fun.
Exactly. Well, even from what we see on TV, right? That's what we're introduced to. For example, like, you know, Narcos, the show. Jesus. I don't know. Have you seen ever anything like that? Oh my God, it's horrific stuff. But that's the thing, because those kind of shows like Narcos and like there's a lot of shows, that they like make the narco culture like this, you know? And also, I mean, obviously if you don't have a good system, sometimes like the best thing there's in your possibilities is to become a narco. To be realistic, because like the other system does not work. But that's also like a cycle of not overcome that. Yeah, and that's what's we actually saw that during the pandemic, people being shut in for so long, that there's so much anger that happened throughout this, and there was obviously George Floyd. If everyone's heard of it, just terrible thing that happened, right? I believe because everyone was like, not only the murder was injustice, but everyone was just shut in and just needed some release of like something, that the looting and the rioting and all those peaceful riots that also came of it as well came all from that instant. And it's like, it's kind of hard to like see what's right and what's wrong in this instance, because there's so much of the system that is definitely wrong, but also like, well, what happens when we need a cop there, or we need someone there to, you know, help us out in some instance. Like if there's a gun shooting out here, who do I call? You know, I don't have a gun. Like the most I have is like, you know, I don't know, like a pencil or a cactus. I can throw my cactus at someone, but I can't do much. So it's like, in this system, we need a place where we can feel secure and feel, you know, safe walking down the street and being able to call someone. Yeah. In that case, Yes, it's a difficult cycle. Yes. To leave. And it's a tough one, and it's I'm glad that a lot of people are actually in the mindset of this, of like, this needs to change and things need to happen for that to change. So I'm surprised that, like, you know, there's a lot of people that are still in this, like, we got to do something. Yeah, that's like, a good thing about social media. Yeah, interesting. I always thought of it as a duality, because like when you see things on TikTok or you see things on like Instagram, good or bad things, you're like, the information that you take in is usually like your own interpretation of it. You know, you see someone getting gunned down, and depending on where you stand, you can either take that as a good or bad thing or whatever. You know, it's all different. So and also, like, there's this documentary on Netflix called Social Media Dávila, I think I might have heard about it. Okay. Yeah, and it speaks about how what you consume, you will keep on getting that. So that is also like polarizing a lot people and ideas, because like the whole like meaning, or well, the whole intention of social media is to make money, right? Yeah. Like to keep you being in there. Yeah. So if you like, I don't know, like looking at like if you are like cabbages, or I would say carrots, or something like I don't know, toilet paper. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Like if you like one thing, you will only get that thing. Yeah. And like social media will only put you like those kind of things, and you will like just have a perception that all the world is bad and like all the cops are bad. Right. Exactly. Things like that, you know. Like, absolutely. It makes you polarize, like on a polarized perception, and that is making society very, very, very separated. And you can see that like in any movement, like feminism here in Mexico, well, not here, but in Mexico, that it's a big thing. It's very sad when it like transformed into like what it originally was, as like equality and like solidarity and empathy into men versus women. I know that there's I see a lot of the culture in here actually for a lot of Hispanics as well. Since my dad comes from this mindset of like, I am the man, you know, I have to go out every day and get food or get money to put on the table, kind of stuff, like old school mentality, right? And it's always been like that, where my mom or the stepmom would just like, you know, be cooking, taking care of the kids, and it's kind of like an old school mentality, you know. But now there's like this new turn of like, oh, now women can definitely, you know, handle their own, and they should be able to do so much more than they can, but there's so much that's bringing them down or not allowing them to move forward with that stuff. So I see it as well.
Have you seen much of culture in Mexico being divided yourself, like just seeing friends and family or others about how influence of social media has affected other cultures? Especially I'm curious about the others in the studio as well, like when you traveled on tour and went to other cities all across the world, were you able to see influence of just on like how they were raised, especially as different cultures? You'll see a lot of differences, but specifically maybe in youth or even in older generations of how social media has affected them to, I don't know, act a certain way or talk about current things in their own ideas, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I wouldn't like dare to say it's because social media, because I don't have like that information.
Absolutely, but could you derive any sort of like information from people's characters, or like
people's personalities or their actions of what they see versus what they do? Is that what you're trying to say?
More so, my idea was just following the trait of social media and how it's like had an influence on a lot of recent, I guess, political events too. What you were just saying earlier, what you consume is what you'll kind of see and be fed. So I was curious if you were able to see that or were involved enough in the culture to kind of hear more about their political sides of things.
Yes, completely. Like, for example, when I was here on tour in Lafayette, in Louisiana.
Okay.
I had a family that were super Trump supporter, and all of their ideas, like they literally, like we had a conversation about Trump, and like they like just like told me like, so do you agree with Trump? And I was like, oh, how do I tell you? How do I make that uncomfortable? And they like literally repeated Trump's ideas as, you know, just like paraphrase everything that Trump said. You know, and like that is like what we were saying, as like what you consume is everything that you will see, and if you not try to like look to other perspectives and to other opinions, like that will be your whole world. And that's also why Up With People can be very powerful too, or just like international.
Absolutely. So, and were you able to have genuine conversations about ideas and things with people all over the world about like how did that conversation go with the people in Louisiana?
Well,
where Lafayette?
So I really try to like keep calm with that conversation, because it was pretty,
I bet it was a little stressful.
It seems like a lot.
And they were like pretty direct, but I mean they weren't bad people at all. I mean, they were feeding me, they were being my host families, like they were showing me love and like taking care of me. They weren't bad people at all, even though they like had these ideas, and they did not like came to me to attack me or something. Like they were just having a conversation because that's their world, and it's just like natural, like that's how it works.
And it's tough because when you're not in it, like for me, I don't watch the news like at all. Like I try not to watch it because I've seen what it does to people, like we were saying, where it consumes them, and it's like every little thing now becomes a tie-in. You know, like with the virus, my sister just did not want to leave the house. She didn't want me to go into the house until I got vaccinated. And obviously, since they heavily watch the news, it's like they see the deaths every single day, and they're like, well, if you go out, wear a mask. And it's like, I'm pretty smart how I handle things whenever I go outside or do whatever I was still going outside and living my life throughout the pandemic, like nothing ever happened, but I was being safe about it. And other places were being safe too, because they just couldn't shut down. We need food. We need groceries. We need things. It's like it's impossible for that all to just shut down. It's not realistic. So I just adapted to the system. But they were like, you can't come over. You can't see your nephew, you know, because she just had a baby. It's like, you can't until we get vaccinated, until we figure this out. And it's like, it's tough to be around people like that, to let them know that, oh, no, you can trust me. Everything's going to be okay. And even regardless of where you stand politically, you know, it's not even about like what we agree on or not. It's about just like being just normal, like having a normal conversation and just being okay with like where you side, where I side. But if you say the wrong thing against someone, that's why people test you, like those Trump supporters were. And they're not all Trump supporters are bad. I'm not saying that. It's more of the fact of like someone will test you to be like, hey, are you on my side or not? And then like attack you if you're not, you know?
Yes.
Very scary stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like super important to be open to conversation and to different people. Like in this case, instead of me attacking them and telling them like, oh no, you're incorrect.
Yeah.
And they also like being on defensive. I like started asking questions like, like, do you think that illegal people or immigrants, do they come because they want to steal your jobs? And
like, did they ask you that specifically, or just like, do you think that was coming up in the conversation?
They told me that. They said something like, I don't understand illegal people. Like, why do they do that? Like, why do they come?
I understand.
Like it's so stupid for them to come. And I was like, well, why do you think? Like, do you think that people are just stupid? Like, Mexicans are just stupid, or illegal people are simply stupid? Like, it's not.
I understand this way more now. So it comes from a lack of knowledge, right? Part of it is not just so much being ignorant, but just allowing yourself to actually understand the world, right? I learned this in there was a social studies class in a college where we basically get to know, you know, the reason why they teach things like massacres of like the Indians and the British and all that stuff at a young age, to understand this is a horrific event and this is why it happens. You know, you teach history so you don't repeat it, essentially, right? Yeah. And a lot of people just don't allow themselves to take in this information, or just stay ignorant to it, right? Where they don't allow themselves to pursue that more. So when you get to someone like that, even if you tell them your point, they're still not going to be convinced, you know? It's more of like, well, the reason why my parents came over to Los Angeles, which is where I was born, you know, they met in Mexico, they came over to Los Angeles, and then that's, for some reason, I think it was an opportunity. They had a place to live, which was amazing. And they were able to get a job, which was like far better from what they were going to have in Mexico. Yeah. So it's opportunistic. But a lot of the things that my dad was doing to, like, you know, raise money and all that stuff were things that people just couldn't do. You know, people building houses or just have his skill set. You know, he was really good at a lot of things, you know, in like construction wise. And it's not so much of like taking people's jobs. It's just that it's more of like what anyone would do. If you're equipped to doing something, you could, if you're better than it, it's not about like, oh, I'm better than you and I'm going to shove you away. No, it's just that I'm better fit for this position, so I can do it.
Yeah.
You know, why would I let some other person do it? It's not even that. It's just that you're more equipped for it.
Yeah.
It's not a hard feelings thing. It's just about like, we're survivalists and we're just trying to live.
Yeah. So like that's very like unhumanizing people and like judging people.
Yeah.
Like you will do the same thing if you were in that situation. Like if that will be your best opportunity, why wouldn't you take that? Or if you simply don't have any other opportunity, like why on earth would you not do that?
Exactly. Now, I'm glad that, see, first time meeting you. So far, been pretty great on this, and we still have a little bit of time, so normally when we get a little heavy, we'll switch it up a little bit, we'll show a little clip, and we can talk about this, but for right now, it's been awesome, and let's get on with I think this one, the flippies. Oh, yeah. Very good stuff. Oh, I don't know why my sound is off, but yeah, you can see it. Some guy in New York is doing flips. Do you see stuff like that in Mexico?
I mean, I would love to. I will definitely love to.
You don't see that?
I have never seen that. I'm sure that there's people that have done
that. Happens here like once a week at least.
That's so cool.
Albino, has anything like this happened to you yet recently?
Not that I can think of right now.
Oh my god.
There's a video of like some people like completely drunk in an OXXO that it's like, I don't know, 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Like that. And like there's this girl, it must be like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
And this girl is super stressed, and there come these guys and start singing like Oxo, making all of that mess. And the girl like they like zoom in the girl. And the girl's like
just dead, done.
Yeah.
That happens here almost all the time.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
A lot of freedom.
Yeah, it's for the most part a little bit too much sometimes.
But also, you're a coincidence master, so like you'll run into the craziest things and tell me about that all the time.
I believe that there's no such thing as coincidence. Everything that happens is meant to happen, right? Yeah. Like I was telling these guys that I was starting a band for the longest time. I had a band 10 years ago, and I was looking for a drummer 10 years from now, and like I found this dude. Like what? And then I found 3 other drummers in the same month.
Nice.
That doesn't just happen. You know what I mean? Yeah. After looking for 10 years, it just doesn't happen like that. Yeah. It just doesn't make sense. Yes. There's times where like I would be backing out of even down here, right? I would back out, and there would be a car that just would almost miss me. But I'm like, oh, I'm so glad that I just waited, and okay, I'm good. So I said, pull out. There's another guy that's like also pulling out, like leaving at the same time. Because a lot of people here leave almost around the same time that I do, like 8 in the morning. So when he pulls out, there's a car that almost comes and hits him too, but it's like, geez, I'm glad that wasn't me. But he gets out of his car and he starts like, hey, what are you doing? You know, and starts getting in the face of the other guy. It's like, I'm trying to get to work. And then there's this whole fight that always happens. It's like, I'm glad that I just get to see these things in general. Now, since you are here in America, which, bienvenidos, I guess, what are you planning to see or do here while you're here?
Like they tell me, like what they tell me, I'll just flow with it. As this podcast.
There's no
Colorado.
Yeah.
Yes, we're going to Colorado.
Which is awesome.
I think so. Yeah.
But nothing specifically here in Minnesota that you're wanting to do. Like we have a giant mall here, like the Mall of America.
Like
do you care?
They have roller coasters.
Ooh,
they do.
Yeah.
Like a Fairly Odd Parents. They have a SpongeBob ride. It's really cool. It's really cool. It is a little bit pricey.
About that, yeah.
Yeah, it's all right. That's why I'm gonna give all the ideas here. Locally owned stuff. What's some cool locally places we can go? We can do.
Well, also there's Renfest happening.
Oh yes,
that's super cool. That is hosted here in Minnesota.
So we were trying to do so Renfest. I don't know if you know, like a Renaissance festival kind of thing.
I can imagine.
They recreate it, and it's really fun. To me, it's better than the state fair that they have currently going on. I think it just ended actually. It's just so much more fun. So essentially, we were gonna go all this week, but I think these guys are gonna go to camping. And they have some other stuff, but if we could go this, obviously that'd be awesome. I think we're gonna plan for next week though with Evan, so yes, whatever works out, obviously.
They are leaving at next Tuesday.
Oh, next Tuesday.
So they won't be able to.
So we should go now then.
Yes.
So we got to try to go now. If you guys are still obviously down for Saturday, actually.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out off air.
Yes, please.
In any case, there's that, and what's a good like place to go eat? I don't know, Benihana. Have you been to Benihana? Mm-hmm. Benihana's fun. I don't know if
there's some wonderful, like we always go to Umi's, I believe.
Ooh.
That's a wonderful place to go.
Yeah.
Umi's is amazing.
What
yes.
type of food?
Like Japanese kind of.
Cons is another option that you always tell me about.
Don't you dare mention Cons. So Cons essentially is one of my favorite restaurants. It gives you a heart attack because it's so much food. But essentially, you have a bowl, right? Like a pretty good bowl. And then you load it up with whatever you want. You know, noodles. You have 2 different types of noodles: beef, chicken, everything. It's amazing, and it's all still raw. You know, so you can have whatever you want. Your toppings, lettuce, tomato, whatever you want. And you take it to a chef, and he'll cook it for you, and he'll add in the sauces for you. So it's all to your liking. So whatever you want, like if you don't want shrimp, if you just want lamb or chicken, whatever you want, it's really awesome. I can't recommend it enough. Really fun. And then what's a good like dessert place? I know there's like a couple places down in not Stillwater, White Bear.
There's a malt shop near Stillwater or in Stillwater. It's right on a riverside. That's pretty beautiful, especially just walking around Stillwater. It's a city east of the cities. But then there's also right downtown Minneapolis, I believe, near the college that we have. I think it's Midnight Cookies.
Mm-hmm. That's
it's
I know
like,
insomnia cookies.
Insomnia, yeah. That's a.
And why?
I've had a lot of friends recommend that, but I've never tried it.
Are you free? Oh, come on, dude. So insomnia cookies, it's really cool because they make them fresh in house, right? So you know when you get a cookie and when you bake it, it's like really hot. It's like, oh, it's still good.
Okay.
They make it for you fresh there, and it's Uptown.
Oh.
Uptown is freaking awesome. Just
Okay.
there's like a college town, and they have a bunch of these little things there. It's really fun. And anyway, I wasn't sure if you had anything else going on for this thing, but you're gonna have a lot of fun with these guys for sure.
Yes.
They're
Yes,
very
I know.
fun and crazy and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, for
honestly, just been dying for Chick-fil-A. Like that's everything I want here as food in the United States.
have you had what's the obsession with Chick-fil-A? Like, do you like it as much as as other people?
Honestly, I'm a Cane's man.
Do you know what Raising Cane's is?
No.
Okay, forget
similar.
Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A's out. We're done.
You
Raising
have to try
Cane's
Cane's.
is where it's
It's
at.
chicken, same stuff, better sauce.
Really?
Yeah, it's just better.
Okay.
Honestly,
It's way better.
Okay.
I do
Let me
like
go.
the other sauce of Chick-fil-A.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't hit me the same as Cane's sauce.
No.
Fries are good.
Waffle fries.
There are
honestly.
a lot
Okay, I'll
of
trust you.
benefits to both. Personal preference and what I'm kind of addicted to is getting Cane's.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is we're getting Cane's.
Yeah.
Probably.
So if she says go to Chick-fil-A, no, go to Cane's. Like, Cane's is where it's at. You're gonna love it, and you're probably gonna love it so much you're gonna run away from Mexico and just follow every single Cane's restaurant. It's the
Oh, I don't know. Have you ever tasted real tacos?
I have actually. I do know a lot of Mexican restaurants. I was just telling Aaron about this, since we just go and there's a lot of authentic places to eat Mexican food, like
Really?
Acapulco. You ever been there?
No.
It's a joke, actually. This is not a real.
You can find some good authentic Mexican food.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Good
Yeah, I know a lot of
tacos, like real shit.
exactly. There's a ton of places downtown, which I was gonna take Aaron. So maybe this might be a good time if we could all go sometime. While you're here, before you leave, it's
Yeah.
Tuesday, right? That you guys are leaving? Is it this Tuesday?
Yes.
Jeez.
Yeah, a week from today.
That's happening really fast.
Yeah.
Damn.
But
That's why.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe we can figure that out. So you could actually
Yeah,
try some food
I like
here
that.
before you leave. Yes.
yeah, I like that.
Awesome.
I love food.
Yes, muy delicioso, as Dora would say. And going out to our, I have two other videos real quick. I'll show you this this one, and then I have a closer. So here we go. Oh, and I don't know why I have. Oh, you know why? That's why I have no son. Pobrecito. Wow. Do you guys do any fun games like that in Mexico?
Yeah.
That's why I had no sound. I'm so stupid. Oh.
Yes, actually, we have a game that's very similar to that.
Really?
Not to that, what happened in the video. But,
Okay.
But yeah.
Yes, please elaborate. I'm curious.
So it's like a child's game.
Okay.
So you have a ball, and everyone is like anything, like a country, a food, or something. And you
Mhm.
said, my worst enemy is Mexico.
Uh-huh.
And then you like take. Oh, I can remember quite well.
No, it's
the
fine.
thing is that like you need to guess, like you need to run and then guess how many steps you need for you to like get into the person that you called.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So it's kind of like not a game of chicken, but more of a game of like a. I can't think of it either, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Evan, do you have any games like that you like to play?
I like skipping down a road.
Oh, that's so weird.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good one.
I remember I loved hide and seek when I was growing up, but there was a lot of different names for it and different versions that we'd all come up with. I think Ghost in the Graveyard was a very common one.
Oh, explain that
commonly
one real
heard,
quick.
like household name. But it's just you have to have it completely dark. So you'd stay up till like 9 or something in the fall when it gets dark early, and it's like pitch black almost, and you just I think all hide, and I forget how the game works,
Right.
but I think once you find somebody it like trades off or something.
Right.
But that was always a household favorite.
I think for me,
For me personally.
For me, it was Ding Dong Ditch. Yeah, everyone's
yeah.
already done that. Yeah, so
Sure.
that one's the one. We just go around and just do that. That one's a fun one. Or back when I was a terrible kid. We would take airsoft guns and drive around neighborhoods and shoot people with the guns. We were terrible people.
Nice.
I was one of the worst people. I'm so different from where I was back.
Really?
Yeah, completely. More sane. You can trust me.
Nice.
But actually, before we close out this podcast, I want to know. So, I know Mexico does have some haunting stories, like ghost, paranormal kind of stuff. Are you not so much religious, but do you believe in kind of that kind of spiritual stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean,
can you tell me a story?
I don't know what exactly to believe because it's so like difficult to just have an answer. I think nobody really has an answer, or maybe
I don't have an answer. A lot of things have happened to me where like I don't believe in, I'm agnostic, so I don't believe in any of that stuff. But I've seen some stuff where I just can't understand it, and I've heard some things. Yeah. But I'd love to know a story from you, for sure, because I know there's got to be some.
Oh, okay. Well, actually there is.
See, I knew it.
Yeah. So I was in Saltillo. That's a place near my city. That's where I live. And we were in an old house, and we were like in a piano recital. And I was with my father. I was like leaving the house, and it's a huge house.
Is it dark? Yeah.
No.
It's
no,
like
it wasn't
daylight.
Dark. Yeah, it was like 7:00.
Okay.
So I was leaving the house, and there's these huge rooms, like huge ceilings.
Right, like double this height or whatever. Okay.
Yes, or even more.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like leaving the house, and then I like something like got my attention, and it was a room that was open.
Right.
And in the center of the room there was a beautiful lady.
Oh Jesus, the same thing happened to me in Texas.
Really?
Yeah. Just keep going. Yeah, keep going.
So, and I remember it like perfectly. I have the perfect image of what I saw. So there's this beautiful lady with the hair like of this length. She was blonde, and she was reading a red book.
Okay.
And a chair, that mecedora, that
goes like it's like rocking chairs.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I remember that I was having a lot of energy, that I was like 11 years old, and I was like typical shy, like
yeah, of course.
So I was having a lot of energy, and then that caught my attention, and in my child of I want to like to scream or just like mess with her or something. Right. But when I saw her, my energy instantly changed.
Yep, same happened to me. Yeah. Oh my god, this is so creepy.
Yeah, it was like all of my energy like just like went, and a lot of peace, and like just a really beautiful feeling that just got in me, and everything that I could do was smiling at her, and it was like a genuinely beautiful smile, like like it just made me smile to her, and she smiled at me back.
Oh, so it wasn't terrifying to you. It was more like more heartwarming. Okay.
Yes.
For me, it was a little different. So, but let's go back to this. The house you were in, was it abandoned, or you said it was a piano recital, right?
Yes. So after everything finished, I asked my father who that woman was, and my father was like, "What do you mean? That door was closed? Like there was no one in there."
Oh,
and I was
my
like,
God.
"No, that door was open. I saw a woman. She smiled at me."
Oh my God.
And then like we started like asking people, and my aunt was like the person who was in charge of the recital, and we asked her, and she was like, "Oh yeah, that door has never been open. Like no, there has never been anyone in that room." And then I like described the woman, and she was like, "Oh, well, you're actually describing the mother of the person that used to live here, and she just passed away."
Yep. So mine was a little bit more scary. I have two paranormal stories. Well, I'm glad that yours didn't end in something horrifying.
That sounds very wholesome.
Yeah.
At least a lot better experience than I feel a majority of people that have had.
And you haven't had any, right?
I haven't. Recently, I've been told my house is haunted.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think of it, but I definitely have heard footsteps before. That's probably the only thing.
We've been recording sometimes, so we would podcast downstairs in the basement, doing like this kind of stuff. And there's upstairs, obviously, is the living room, and it has the kitchen. So you would hear like people walking, and it's like there's no one up there. His sister's gone, who he lives with, and it's like, who the heck is this? But it might be me just bringing in bad energy sometimes. I don't know. But no, there was this one time, like similar to your story. There was one of my cousin's house, and it was in the ranch, where they had like a house in the middle of the ranch, and I would for the most part, everyone else was downstairs. They had their own room, but it was a double-story house. So when I went upstairs to use the bathroom, I was just exploring because I was a curious kid. I like to go to places and just like pee everywhere or whatever. That's how I was. I was terrible. So one time, I similar to you, there was a room that was open, and I go in this room because I'm like, I'm curious. What's going in there? Can I see what's going on? And there's a woman sitting in the rocking chair, but this woman is hooked up to an oxygen mask, right? And it's hooked up to a thing where she's like breathing in it, and she's just there, like kind of like not moving, just like this, and she's not even looking at me. She's looking at the floor, and I'm just like, what is happening here? And there's a guy that comes in, and like I can't see his face. It's so dark in the room, and it's broad daylight. It was obviously like not like this, so it's broad daylight. So normally I would be able to you could see his face, or you could recognize the people, but I couldn't see his face, and he just walked over. And he just looked at me, and it's just the way that he looked at me, I was just like, I'm done. I'm just out. So as soon as I ran, the door slammed behind me. Oh. And I go downstairs. I'm like, hey, I just saw something really weird. And they all told me like what was going on. It's like this house has some paranormal things happening. That obviously is not. No one lives here. The upstairs there was I don't know who was it, but there was a relative that was sick and died there years ago, like 10, 20 plus years before I even visited. And they sometimes see that kind of spirit, but they don't. No one lives there. So for me, that was like, I'm done. Like I just need to leave. Yeah. Disturbing stuff. And the other one, when I was in California, I think I told you many times this story. Openly, I've already taught this many times. Where I was downstairs in California, where for some reason, like there's always parties happening outside. I don't know why. Everyone loves to party at like 7 p.m. till like whenever. There's always a party every day. And I'm downstairs, I'm ready to go to bed, and the lights are on. The windows are closed, the blinds are closed, but the lights are on, so I can hear people. They're like, yeah, whatever, have fiesta, whatever. And I'm just like, I'm trying to sleep. I go to sleep for like an hour maybe. I wake up, and there's still a party going on. And I'm sleeping with my cousins Diego and Christy, they're sleeping on the couch, and I'm sleeping on the bed sharing a bed with my grandma. So as I get up to go get water, the lights turn off, and then I hear this really demonic scream that I've never. I just can't. I can't like make this up. It's just so haunting to me the way it happened. I get up, and then I hear this demonic voice call out the names of my cousins. Yeah, in a very like, and I'm like, ¿Qué pasa? So I get water, and I can't even walk anymore. Like as I go to get water, I'm just like I can't even move, and I try to like call to my grandma who's sleeping right there, and I'm like I don't know what to do. So I try to make my way back to the bed. The lights turn back on and then turn back off, and then like when they turn back on, it's like there's like a party again. It seems like there's a party going on, but then the lights turn back off, and then they're silent, and I'm scared. I'm done. So I go back in bed, and I think I'm like cuddling with my grandma. I'm like, Abuela, ayúdame. And she's like, shut the fuck up. And basically I couldn't understand what happened that night, and to this day I didn't talk to my grandma or no one else about it until like I recently talked about it in the podcast. Horrifying things that I can't understand. Like I don't know if someone's playing a prank on me. I don't know. Terrible things. Yeah. So pobrecito Arturo, man, I swear. Horrible things. In any case, thank you so much for coming, and this is first time meeting you. You're gonna have a great time here, and so far you've been a delight. You're not a rebel, or you don't have any guns on you, so I don't think you're gonna cause too much trouble, right? They'll keep you in check. Everyone will keep you in check for sure. Yeah. Yes, I have this clip because you said you like SpongeBob. I hope this is to your standards. So.
Just a matter of time, I suppose.
Once upon a time, there was an ugly barnacle.
Oh, it's colorful.
He was so ugly, everyone died.
I mean, what the hell happened to us? What happened to the American dream?
Okay, Drew, you're looking at it.
I'm a goofy goober. You're a goofy goober.
John says a war's a starting.
1 second later.
Hey, Rorschach, you're pretty famous, right? Fire!
We're all gonna be
Cool. So
Beautiful.
it was a little cut off, but thank you for coming. And
No, thank you both.
yeah,
It's been excellent having you on the podcast. Thank you for talking with
I
us.
enjoyed it.
sweet. We'll see you later. Adios. Bye bye.
Adios.